You know what the best thing with quizzes are? They are absolutely a lifter on a boring day. You may read this if you want, but I am more interested in the quiz. So here we go. When marching, when marching, always send what ahead? Never heard of that, but you know, all of these are kind of good options because civilians can be a scout, tanks can be scout too, and the newest soldier, well, they can be scouts too, and they get some experience. But I'm pretty sure they want a scout. Scouts are supposed to travel light and fast when they cross the enemy. Sometimes they engage or harass the troops in order to slow them down. Uh, what's it called when one side has complete control of air? Kings of the sky, air supremacy, air dominant. I think it's air supremacy. But then again, wait, hold on. Complete control. Dominant means that you're on top, but I think it's actually this one they want. Yep. During World War II, the British forces was crucial against Germany, and they managed to stop Germany from crossing the Channel and conquer the last of Western Europe. What's it called when you win a war because you have more resources? War of attrition. Most likely, yes. War of attrition can be damaging to both sides. If the war rages on for long enough, even the victor will have a tough time recovering when it's over. Probably have a hard time justifying it as well, you know. What was the German warfare strategy of using force? And yeah, that's blitzkrieg. At least early stages, yes. Correct. The strategy allowed the German army to quickly conquer Western Europe. Europe was initially effective in Eastern Europe as well, but the Russian winter eventually slowed it down. The strategy was used against insurgents who took control of an area. Strategy used against insurgents who taking control of an area. Not wipe out. Scorched earth is when you retreat, and we're not currently retreating in this question. Clear and hold. Terrorism can be a form of insurgency. Terrorism is usually influenced by an ideology which must be combated as well. So it's not just killing the combatants; it is, killing the idea as well. What's other name for a strategy of military ambushes? I didn't see. Guerrilla warfare, right? Yep. Guerrilla warfare was commonly used in North Vietnam. In the Vietnam War, guerrilla soldiers would ground tunnels. Yep. What's this called when part of one army attacks the side of an opposing? Flanking. Corner push sounds kinda nice too. Operation Corner Push. Sideswipe. Size. Yeah, that's a good one too. During the American Civil War, Stonewall Jackson, a Southern general, was killed during a flanking attack. This was a crucial blow to the Confederate Army. This is Chancellorsville, by the way. So this is when all of a country's resources are not devoted to war. It's not total war. Partial? I'm not quite sure what a limited war is, but I think it is like war on. It's not a full war though, but you know. You don't want to do too much. I think that was one of Scotland's mistake in some war. Partial. No, limited. Okay. Korean War was considered a limited war. Goal was not to defeat North Korea, but protect South Korea. All right. So what the hell is partial war? That kind of sounds stupid now when you think of think of it. What is called when you're trying to break through the enemy line of attack? Penetration. Penetration can be crucial during a retreat. During the American Civil War, Robert E. Lee failed to penetrate the Union Army while retreating from Petersburg, with forces rendered at Appomattox Courthouse. He tried to achieve a penetration? Wait, you tried to break through? Oh, we'll figure that out soon enough. What's it called when an army you flank? That's an envelopment. Into the jaws. U-boat! Horseshoe. Nice. Pincer movement. It's a pincer movement. One of the earliest uses of pincer movement occurs at the Battle of Marathon in 490 BC. During this battle, the outnumbered Athenian army defeated the numerically superior Persian army. Not superior. This is when you cut off an enemy from leaving their fortified position or receive any resources. And okay, yeah, it's siege. It's siege. Fortified position is a siege. The longest siege in history lasted 22 years. Holy shit. Occurred in the 7th century when the Ottoman Empire placed 60,000 troops around Candia. 22 fucking years. Holy shit. They must have been they must be besieging no one. Come on. What's it called when an entire nation and its resources are dedicated to win a war? Totalitarian Krieg. Germany was committed to a total war in World War II. So was the Romans against Hannibal, I believe. Maybe even, the First Punic War as well. The country had responsibilities related to the war. Okay, maybe not. So yeah, Germany, totalitarian Krieg, at least, yeah. When do you attack the enemy in a turning maneuver? Turning maneuver. Sounds side and center. Rare. Alright, I have no idea about that. A turning maneuver helps separate the enemy from the defensive positions. This leaves the enemy with nowhere to retreat. Alright. What's this called when you pull your flank back to avoid losing it to an enemy? Weak side. Refusing to flank. Yes. I was expecting them to actually have Chamberlain here, but refusing to flank can be a dangerous maneuver. It leaves one side of your formation weak against an enemy attack. This is when you destroy anything useful to the enemy while you advance through their territory. This is not scorched earth. This is total destruction. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Scorched Earth was on your own territory. My bad then. My bad then, I suppose. Using Mars to the sea, and near the end of the Civil War, one of the cities he did not destroy was Savannah, Georgia. Savannah in Georgia, which he promised as a gift to Abraham Lincoln. What's it called when you're trying to force an enemy into a confined area? Into a confined area, choke point. It's choke point, isn't it? Yeah. I had to read that question a few times. Choke points are created by the natural environment, a valley, on land, or strait in the sea, or to example. Like the Battle of Thermopylae, I believe it's called, in Sparta, 300. There was a sea battle to the side of there that was pretty much, also Thermopylae, but, like ships. What is the name of the strategy that tries to wear an enemy down over time instead of launching a frontal assault? They had a strategy? Nah, Fabian. I didn't. Is this really a real thing, or is it just like shoving a finger up my ass? Probably is. Fabian's strategy is named after Quintilius Fabius Maximus, was a Roman general and dictator during the Roman Republic. It's a shame you can't really do that in Total War. Total War is just beat the shit out of each other, What's this called when you try to gain information about the enemy? You're gathering intel, but you do a reconnaissance. Reconnaissance mission relies on stealth. It does? What? Therefore, the soldiers usually carry very little supplies with them. This is when part of your forces attack while the other trying to gain a more favorable position. Part of your forces attack while the others try to gain a more favorable position. Trying to figure something out here. Search and cover, fire and movement, hit and run. Fire and movement sounds offensive, but I am gonna go for it. Alright. Napoleon Bonaparte believed nothing was more important than time and space in battle. He particularly emphasized time. What does this have to do with, this? Anyway, nice coat. What's this called when you flank defeats the enemy flank, then begins to surround the enemy? I have no fucking clue. It might be circle camp. No, envelopment. Turn the side. It's either this one or this one. Turned aside. Turned aside. Broken flank. And then begins to surround the enemy. Begins to surround. Excuse this chair creaking. Yeah, okay. The longest war in history was the 100 Years' War fought between Britain and France. The war was actually longer than 100 years, though. About 114. But what does this have to do with this? Never mind. Everyone else have kind of been, according to the question, but alright. This is when you make a surprise attack on an enemy who's entrenched. Trench raiding. Yes, sir. Trench warfare defined World War I. War thousands of miles. Trenches were carved out in Europe. Western Europe mostly, but, and the East had some as well. What's the larger scale? What is larger scale bombing of a selected area of land called? Carpet bombing is airplanes just absolutely just fucking rolling over. Group bombing sounds like something ISIS would do, like fucking group bombing, or any other, suicide bombers, Planned bombings aren't all bombings planned? It might be this one. What? Large scale bombing of a selected land. It should be this one, shouldn't it? Carpet bombing is a means to shorten a war. However, it can be very damaging to both environment and civilians. Didn't quite get that one, but carpet bombing for me is airplanes just flying overhead and what's another name of a triangular formation? A wedge formation. Correct answer. In the United States, Department of Defense is the largest deployer in the country. Jeez. Nothing about. Could have said Alexander's. What was it? Yeah, the Alexander the Great's cavalry tactics was often wedges, I believe. No? Okay. This is a supporting unit that provides cover fire for an advancing unit. I believe it's fire unit, right? No, base of fire. There are 5 branches in the United States Army. There are Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Marines, and Navy. High ground. High ground has many strategic advantages. If the enemy has the high ground, it's best to draw them away from their position. Like Hastings. They managed to withdraw, or get the part at least of the Anglo-Saxon army down, and then surround and kill off the rest. Maybe not everyone, but What is a device set up to kill someone by surprise called? Surprise booby trap. Doesn't actually catch his boobies. I love booby traps in Battlefield 1. You just place it down, then you run off, and then, like 10 minutes later, you're like, oh shit, I got a kill. Damn, I don't even remember where I placed that, but I'm happy for it. Happened to me like 2 days ago or something. Just all of a sudden, I got a booby trap kill. Landmines are considered booby traps. Landmine field were common use for World War II. I think I butchered that entire sentence. What are you trying to avoid in a hit and run? Retaliation. The war between the United States and Russia was known as the Cold War. This is because there was no direct conflict despite economic and political conflicts. It's a blockade. What's it called when Navy ships surround an enemy port? Port block. No, blockade, yeah. If it's done towards a neutral country or a country that you're not at war with, it's gunboat diplomacy. You either accept our terms or we're gonna bomb the shit out of you. The United States blockades used blockades to put a strangle on the Confederacy during the Civil War. The strategy is known as the Anaconda Plan. I think it took like a few years before it actually, became something more than just a blockade on paper or paper blockade. I don't know. How many questions are there? Holy shit! Oh my god, we have quite a while to go. This is the term for building several fortifications around the enemy fortifications during a siege. A column is something you march in. Battaglia, no idea. I think it's this one. Yay! The siege of Vicksburg was a famous siege during the Civil War. It was executed by Ulysses Grant after he failed to capture the city by storm. What are the names for deceptive movements where you fake out your opponent? It's hold on, what's the other name of deceptive movement where you fake out your opponent? It's a feint. During the Civil War, both armies made fake guns. This isn't not relevant to the question, but still. These were known as Quaker guns, by the way. These painted wooden. This is when you sneak soldiers into an enemy fortress. Infiltrate. One famous case of infiltration was during the Trojan War. Yes. During the war, the Greeks used a fake wooden horse to sneak inside the city of Troy. What's it called when you lure an enemy into an attack? It's not a surprise attack. Bait and bleed. I mean, I like the sound of it, but it feels like, Battle of Verdun would have been a bait and bleed, but pull and kill. Bait and bleed, okay. In the video game, well, whoever falls for it in the video game has only themselves to blame. You decided to do it, to follow them. This is not camping. I think camping, if bait and bleed, it's not camping. If anything, campus are like daring you to come to their precision, you know. Oh, anyway, why fight a battle of annihilation? Annihilation. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. Or probably. Um, quick victory. Oh, this one is gonna be wrong. This one is gonna be so wrong. And pop. Yes. Okay. Good. The Battle of Cannae is an example of a battle of annihilation. The battle saw the forces of Carthage defeat the Romans in a decisive victory. This is when you scare the enemy into surrendering. Shock and awe. Hmm. Fear attack. Okay, good. Dropping the atomic bomb on Japan was considered an extreme case of shock and awe. After the second bombing, Japan was forced to surrender, not retreat, surrender. What's not a reason for the divide and conquer strategy? What is not a reason for divide and conquer? What is not? It's probably painfully obvious once I click, but still. Okay, defeat the enemy in one battle. The divide and conquer strategy was often used in the Middle East divisions. It was typically easy because of religious differences. Anyway, I'm a true expert. Okay, I got 9% more than everyone else. I don't have Facebook, sadly. You got 28 out of 35. You scored better than 69% quiz takers. That's good. That's really good, I think. Shit. Well, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I had, as I said, these quiz are, they bring light to a boring day, and damn, this was fun. Got a few wrongs, about 8, 7 wrong. So, yeah. I see you all around. Farewell.